Hello, Patreon members. I would like to start off by saying, personally, thank you so much for being here and supporting me. And, it just means a lot. Thank you. And welcome back. Welcome my podcast back. My Patreon only podcast. So, for those of you listening, there is also a visual version as well. And for those of you watching, hey, if you wanted to do audio only, there's that as well. But for those of you watching, this is a really good shot of my house right now. It looks really gorgeous, and my gallery wall looks amazing. I'm actually supposed to be hanging up something right above my doorway right there, but it keeps falling down, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. Might have to just nail some things in instead of using command hooks because it's just not working. But I'm going to try one more time. The painting is not the painting, it's a poster. It's on the ground right now. So we'll try one more time, and then it would really complete that because it's missing right there. But this is a really good shot. I'm gonna start using this angle a lot more. Anyway, hi. Sorry that I haven't been doing the podcast, but I really do want to start really revamping and dressing up my Patreon more so that it gives you more of a reason to be here, and obviously I know a lot of you are here just because you like supporting me, and that really means a lot, truly, that means so much to me, but I want to give you something more. So we're going to start doing a monthly podcast again. This is a day late, but this is for the September one, so you will be getting another one in October. I also apologize because I am stuffy right now, so I'm just stuffy around fall. My allergies are probably the worst during fall, but also it might just be all the hair in my house from the cats. My house is really dusty all the time on account of all the trinkets and my 2 cats. What can you do? That's what happens. But I'm gonna talk to you. I'm just gonna talk to you about all the stuff that's going on. And if you ever want to suggest something for me to talk about in the podcast, leave that in the comments below to either this one or the whatever podcast you're listening to, whether it's audio or visual. Just leave it down below in the comments and request what you would like to hear from me. So what I'm going to talk about though is a few things. I'll save a lot of the Halloween talk, I guess, for October, but I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm planning to do for Halloween while it's still a little bit early. And while I'm talking to you, by the way, I am sewing together a Luna cardigan. This one was for a custom order. No, not a custom order. It was for an original Luna cardigan. Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose again. This sucks. You know what it is? It's my couch. Because as soon as I get up, I'm fine. But this couch, I know, it's just full of hair. Also, this cardigan, I'm gonna have to really just clean it out because this cardigan is full of cat hair. So that's the problem with these podcasts. You're just going to have to deal with me being stuffy. I'm just a really stuffy, person, not personality-wise, obviously, but I have a deviated septum, and it got worse when I got hit in the face with a ball when I played lacrosse back in the day. So, I'm so sorry that you have to listen to the stuffiness of me and my snots. I'm sorry. But it's either that or I'm going to have to keep pausing to blow my nose. So, whatever. So this was an order from Etsy, actually, and I didn't even know I had it up there, so it was a surprise to me because other than that, sell digital items, and so I didn't even realize I had an order, and then they messaged me, and they were like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, oh, God. So that's what I'm doing, and then right after this, I have to start another Luna cardigan because I'm doing another tattoo trade. So next week, I'm leaving to go back to Florida. This is crazy. I'm leaving next week to go back to Florida so I could meet Aiden and we could do Halloween Horror Nights because she loves doing Halloween Horror Nights. And I already did it this year, but, I'll go again. And so Aiden's in Georgia right now. So the plan is I'm flying to Florida, and then we're going to go drive up to Georgia, and then my tattoo is in Georgia. Their name is Sage Coral Arts, and I'm going to get a gorgeous... My cats are fighting. You hear that? Oh, God. Cats are fighting. Uh-oh. That's awesome. I'm a little scared right now because she's behind the camera. No, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Hey. So, the tattoo. I'm getting a blackberry tattoo on my right arm. So you guys, if you observed it, you know. But my left arm is my pink and red tattoos, and then my right arm is all just like no color tattoos. And so I have a raspberry tattoo on my left shoulder. That's like a vine, and it goes up to my collarbone and everything. So I'm going to get an asymmetrical, but like matching, you know what I'm saying? Blackberry tattoo on the other shoulder, but I'm going to have that one go up to my neck and then go down to my back. And I'm really excited about that. That's my first back tattoo. And then it's just going to like really complete it, and I'm so excited. And specifically, I'm also excited for this dress that I'm going to get. One of my best friends is getting married soon, which is crazy. I am getting to the marriage stage of my life where my friends are going to get married. Not have kids yet. I mean, there are people obviously that I know that are having kids, but like not my friends yet. They're just getting married right now. And I'm an unofficial bridesmaid. So I'm not doing all the bridesmaidy stuff, but we have full reign to get a fancy dress that's bridesmaid material. And I had such a hard time finding one because like I had such a specific vision in my mind where I had like a big like a big skirt and then off the shoulder poofy sleeves. And I just couldn't find it. It was just too hard. Or if I did, it was like $1 billion. But it really sucked because I had this one specific image in my mind from Wild Rose and Sparrow, I think was the store name. And I just didn't buy it then because I literally I was the only one who had their dress in mind from the very beginning. Like from, I guess February was when they released that dress. And I just didn't buy it then because I was like, what if something better comes along? And I should have just bought it because it's been sold out ever since. And because of that, even when I was trying to find dresses, none of them like were up to the standard of that dress. That even my friend Melanie was like, it's just not giving, fairy goddess like I want it to give. Like she's like, it needs to be bigger. And this is, I mean, we're very non-traditional people, and she's just like, I don't believe in upstaging the bride, which I don't either. Unless people are doing it on purpose, then in that case it's just being malicious. But, the bride is the bride. No one's going to upstage the bride because it's their day, like, so Melanie was like, I don't believe in that, so please go bigger. Like, she wanted me to keep going bigger. But I did find this one beautiful dress that is, like, the color I wanted. It's red. She wanted us to wear jewel tones. That was, like, the only request that she had in terms of color. So I chose red. I was going to choose red or a deep, like, berry pink. And so I found one with like a big, beautiful skirt, pockets, and it's strappy, and it has an open back where you tie it along the back. All this to say is that my tattoos are going to look amazing on there, and then you'll hopefully get to see my back tattoo then as well, and then all my things on my arms. Does not have the poofy sleeves that I wanted, but since I'm average height for a woman. I'm like 5'3.5", but like shorter in terms of like dresses or whatever. Maybe, hopefully, it'll be too long for me, and then I'll be able to hem it. See where I'm going with this? And then there'll be enough fabric that maybe if I wanted to, I could create sleeves. The off-the-shoulder sleeves that I want. Could you imagine? So hopefully that would happen. But this is also why I just want to get into sewing, because like if I had more time and experience, I would have just made my dress. And I almost was still going to, because I couldn't find a dress, and like I had to just like give up the things that I wanted. I mean, it's still, everything else about the dress is perfect besides the sleeves. So, it's fine. Even when I sent it to Aspen, and Aspen literally said, the dress is really nice, I just wish it had sleeves. Like, I didn't prompt them by saying anything. I just said, I found the dress. But imagine I could be able to sew. And then not only can I create dresses in the style I want, but also the color I want. Because that's another problem, is like, I just like don't, the colors that I always want, like, they're not seen in formal dresses. Like, I don't want things that are more neutral. I don't want things that are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's fine for other people, but I want my colors, I want my whimsical sense of fashion to still be brought into formal attire. So this is me also encouraging you to sew, because you already know, you probably know how it is creating your own stuff when it comes to fiber art, like all the possibilities, from being able to create your own stuff, now extend that to fabric and sewing. Imagine everything you can do. So let's go from there to talking about Halloween. That's another reason why I want to sew, is because I want to be able to make costumes and cosplays, and like not have them made from like cheap material, and also like make them exactly how I want and fitted and look nice and quality, and be sustainable about it, And personally, I keep all my costumes. I think I have basically every costume that I've worn since college, give or take, because there are some things that just went missing, which I'm really upset about. Like, I had a Raven from Teen Titans costume that was amazing, and I just don't know what happened to her. And I like tried to look for it the next year, and I couldn't. And I think that everybody should keep all their costumes, because if there's ever a time that you want to, dress up last minute, you have it. I even have costumes that I haven't even worn. Like, I did get somebody to, like, custom make me something that I didn't even wear. Isn't that crazy? But I want to be able to do that myself. Just make what I want for myself. Not have to worry about it, or not have to just, like, get, like, cheap things off Amazon and then, whatever. I know, what, I'm not shaming anybody that does it. Just personally for me, I want to be able to make my own things for so many reasons. But, like, the main reason is because it would be so cool. It would be so awesome to do that. And this year, one of the costumes, I won't tell you the other one, but the costume that I'm gonna have just for like actual Halloween, I still go trick-or-treating with my little sister and now my little cousin, I'm going to be classic strawberry shortcake, and I'm going to make that. And I think that's going to be a good challenge for me, where it doesn't seem like, it seems like I can do it, but it's definitely going to be, I'm going to be learning new things, So that's going to be really fun, and I'm going to make the big hat. I don't know how I'm going to make the hat yet, but I'm going to make the big hat, and then I'm going to, like, make it poofy and then do the little yarn hair. How cute is that going to be? Oh, please leave in the comments what you're planning to be for Halloween. I just love to know. I love to know everybody's costumes. I think I'm also going to do a YouTube video where I just talk about all my costumes, because I want to, because I always love bragging about all the costumes I've worn. I love Halloween, and I love dressing up, and I love cosplaying, so I want to step up my game, So I want to know what you're being. Oh, I love Halloween. I just decorated, too. Can you see some of my Halloween decorations? For those of you watching, look at my new pillow. I love Halloween. And yeah, okay. Now let's segue from this Halloween story to my next Halloween story. So like I said, I'm going to go to Halloween Horror Nights again with Aiden. I already did all the haunted houses except for one, and it's like, it's called Major Sweets Candy Factory, maybe? I love Halloween Horror Nights because, like, at the end of the day, it's, like, silly. It's, like, silly things. Like, yeah, it's scary and they, like, pop out at you, but, like, I don't know about you. I like to brag about this. I'm not scared, really, of, like, haunted houses a lot of the times. Like, I like to go, and I like to go slow. I always lead the pack, and I make sure there's a lot of room between me and the person in front of me, even though they're like, go, go, go. I'm like, I don't like that, because I want to see everything, and I don't want anybody in front of me. I want all the visual space I can have, so I can, like, walk slow and observe everything. And then that also means I always know when the scares are coming. Like, I'm observing, and I giggle and laugh, when things pop out at me. But I love it. So that's the only one I didn't go to. Like, Candy Factory, that's silly. And the rest I got, like, Express for. Last time I was lucky enough, my friend works there and does the RIP tours. So she comped me in. So all I had to pay for was the Express, thank God, because the Express is expensive, but when you don't have to pay for the actual ticket itself, it's worth it. Well, not everybody has that luxury. I don't even have that luxury every year. But I was able to do every single house, and I would have been able to do the Candy Factory one, but, like, we were there, like, not the whole day, because we were smart about it, and we had regular Express line passes, because the hotel that we stayed at just gives you Express, which is gorgeous. So we got there at, like, 12, and then rode all the rides that we wanted to ride. And so by 10, we were, like, pretty beat, and I, like, was like, I'm good to not stay until 2 a.m. That's awesome. Especially because the next day I had to get up really early to meet my family at Epcot. So yeah, so we did everything except for that one. And like the houses that I really liked, if anybody's planning on going and would like to take my advice on which houses to go to, I really liked the Goblin Feast was so funny. Like I know Aiden's gonna love that one. Goblin Feast is funny. The cinema, there's like Sinister Cinema, something like that. That was also really fun. So silly. What else was there? The Quiet Place house was incredible. Personally, everybody keeps talking about how scary the Insidious house one is, and that's like the only actual scary one this year. And I was actually scared for it. Like, I was like, oh, this is what people feel like before going into haunted houses. Like, because I'm not scared to go in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm actually feeling fear this time. And my friend who I was with, Avalon, was like, I'm going to leave this one because I cannot go slow in that house. Which I think is funny because, like, she literally tours the house and eventually she gets used to it because she has to, you know, go in with everybody. And I was like, okay, fine, you can go into the house. But I still she ended up getting scared of everything because, I think because she was so close to the people in front of us that, like, and they also sense fear. So she was getting popped out at and, like, jumped at the entire time. And she screams and she ducks and it's so funny. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I actually hyped myself up for it because I personally wasn't scared of it. But, you know, everybody has their own opinions on it, you know? And then after that, I met my family well, they met me in Florida. And then I met them at Epcot the next day. So the reason why we went this year, and we used to only do biannual trips. And then we went to Halloween last year. My mom was so in love with it. Halloween, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, the Halloween party in Disney, which is like a complete, what am I trying to say? I'm just saying it's so opposite from Halloween Horror Nights, you know what I'm saying? It's like sweet and cute and fun. Excuse me. Oh, let me take a sip of water. Everybody hydrate. Not me though, I'm actually gonna take a sip of coffee. Pranked ya. And so whatever, we were so excited for it. We all dressed up. I dressed up as Wildcats with my two other siblings, and I got the idea based off of a drag show that I saw on TikTok where she had a basketball on a stick, and so she pretended to like shoot it and put it into the hoop. And so I was like, oh, that's smart, so we don't have to bring an actual basketball. And then I thought about bringing one of those punch balloons and making a basketball on that and then bouncing it around. And it was a hit. It was awesome until the ponchos had to come on. So what happened was, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to explain real quick. The Halloween party ticket is separate admission from the regular day ticket. The event is from 7 o'clock to 12 a.m., 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. But you get access to the park starting at 4 p.m. The park doesn't close until 6 p.m., so whoever has the daily park admission has to leave by 6 p.m., and then they start checking to see if everybody has the special wristbands for the events, which are, like, color-coded by the day. And they don't, like, announce it until later on so that people, like, don't go back, whatever. And so you could get in at 4, you could do the rides or whatever, and what we wanted to do was, like, we just wanted to, like, take our pictures, like, get whatever special foods there were that were not just for the Halloween party. Like, they had some themed food that you could get during the day, get something to eat, so that way we were ready for the Halloween party and ready to go for the rest of the day, whatever. So, starts at 7. At 6:50, it begins to rain. And do you think the rain let up at all? No? Well, you were right. It rained the entire time. And the problem with Disney's Halloween parties is that if it rains, that's it. Like, you can't do anything because everything is so, like, weather dependent. Which is crazy if you think about it, because it's like, it's Florida. Like, isn't there some kind of protocol for this? There wasn't. It was just, like, horrible. And it was so bad that Disney automatically gave a park hopper comp ticket, which is really expensive and more expensive than the Halloween party ticket. and which is really expensive now. Like, I used to work there, and it was literally half the price. So, and like, I say that's a lot for them. I mean, they should have given everybody something, but I mean, it's Disney, and they're a very greedy company, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I love going to Disney parks, and I have a special place in my heart for Disney things, but I also loathe them as a company. Do not get it twisted. So, for them to give a comp ticket of that much value meant that it was actually horrible, and it was because around 10 p.m., so after us really being hopeful, watching the weather app, seeing where the rain was going, and it kept saying it would stop and then it would start again. It was like actually miserable, and I don't want that to sound bad, like, oh my god, I went on my trip and I was whatever. But like, you go somewhere and then you can't do the thing, and then like it's you know that you're not going to come back, and you spent all this money to go there, and you went for this one thing, and then you can't do that one thing, and not only that, you're uncomfortable. Like, we couldn't even, the one of the awesome things about going to this, just like going to like conventions or the Ren Fair, is like looking at everybody's costumes and then having them themed for that specific thing, and like seeing what people think of, like, because for me it was hard to come up with a costume that was unique, but also you could wear in Florida weather, and similar to how like people dress up as very specific things for the theme of Comic-Con or Ren Fair, you really get to see the creativity of like Disney nerds dressing up as things that only Disney people would know. For example, I saw somebody dressed up in like a Potato Land outfit, which is a real deep cut. Like, it's Potato Land is from one of the rides, Mickey's Runaway Railway, and then at the very end, they go to Potato Land. But maybe it's also, like, in the show, like, the new Mickey show. It's related to that. But, like, if you just wore that out for Halloween, people would be like, what the hell? But, like, you can wear that at Disney. And, I mean, mine was a Wildcats thing, so it's not, like, that unique. But I think what really set it apart from the other Wildcats that were there was the basketball. People loved that. Also, I was Zeke. And one of the cast members was like, oh, and you're Zeke, that's the best one, which you could tell by, like, just the last name, which I had to look up his last name, so I was like, okay, big fan. So that sucked that you couldn't even see everybody's costume, and I couldn't even bounce my ball around, and, like, like, that, it just sucked. And not only that, our shoes were soaked through. Our socks were wet, and, like, that is a horrible feeling. Like, once that happens to me, there's not much I can think about besides how uncomfortable I am. And especially with somebody with already, like, clothing sensory issues, that was just horrible. And guess what? That was the one day that I didn't bring an extra pair of socks, because I know how bad it is to have wet socks. So I bring an extra pair of wet socks, but the problem was I gave my dad my socks in my bag from the day before, because he was wearing ankle socks, which weren't covering the back of his shoe, so his, like, heel was rubbing against it, so I gave him my socks that were, like, high up so that it wasn't rubbing against his heel anymore. And then I forgot to replace it, so I literally went to go buy new socks. I ended up returning them because I was like, whatever, we're leaving anyway, like, we were gonna leave early. I was being strong, because, the socks also were expensive, so I was like, I don't want to buy these socks because they're expensive. So I ended up returning them. So, yeah, so that was really sad, because we just wanted to see the parades and the shows. The Hocus Pocus show, the parade is amazing. It's like, yeah. So I'm telling you all of this because my dad had texted us and was like, hey, don't tell your mom, but what if we went back just to do the Halloween party? Which is crazy. Like, by the way, like, this is all new for me that we're able to even go even once a year now, because it's expensive, and we have a big family. My mom actually got a part-time job, extra from her job, just to be able to pay for us to go on vacation, which is really, really sweet. And, growing up for her as a kid, she never really went on vacation because it was just, like, too much for her mom to be able to, like, afford everybody going on vacation, and she was, like, very big into saving and stuff, and, like, her mom did what she could, so, like, that's, you know what I'm saying. It's not that it's a bad thing, but, like, as a kid, that definitely sticks with you. So one of the things that's always been important for my mom is for all of us to be able to go on family vacations together. And so we've always been like that. Like, we would go on biannual trips to Disney, and then like the years that we weren't going, we would like do a lot of like road trips. Like, you know, we would go to like DC or something, or like even just to Pennsylvania for a day. So that way we would still have something, even if it wasn't as big. So we're very lucky that now my parents are in such a different place in their life that they're able to take us all on vacation multiple times, even a year sometimes. Like, this is a big year for us. But, you know, my mom getting an extra job just to be able to pay for us is so nice. It's awesome. Like, it's awesome, and we're really lucky. And I'm lucky, like, now, even in my adult life, that we get to do that, because it definitely wasn't the same when I was a kid. And so, yeah, so my dad texted us about going, and I didn't really think about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. Like, why not? Let me go again. And my other siblings, I'm the oldest of 5. The 3 middle siblings were all like, we can't take off of work, we can't take off of school again, whatever. And I already said yes, so I was like, yeah, whatever. So what I didn't think about was how it is so close to the trip that I'm going on next week. So I'm going to Florida, then I'm going to Georgia. I come back on Tuesday, and then we fly out again on Friday to go back to Florida. I'm like, oh my God, I was not thinking about this. And, like, even if I could have just flown back to Florida, I don't think I would, because I'm already missing. I gotta stop going to Florida. I gotta stop going to Florida during the best season of the year, because I'm gonna be missing the fall weather. But at the end of the day, I'm obviously gonna have fun. But also, I know that it's gonna make my mom and my little sister so happy for me to be going. And my mom's gonna be so much happier going again, because she was, like, real depressed that, like, we weren't able to go. Like, we were obviously all sad, but, like, she really was, like, depressed about the Halloween party. She's also a big Halloween person, and then, you know, a big Disney person, and then family vacation person, and she was the one who paid for all of it, so, like, of course she'd be, like, super depressed about it. Like, I don't blame her. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But if you're wondering where I am all month, that's what's happening. But, you know, I don't know if you noticed, I'm doing more, guys. I'm doing better. Oh, this is what I should talk about next. I'm able to do all this because I started medication. Would you look at that? I started a medication for my ADHD, and just, like, overall well-being. And I don't care. I'll be open about it, because maybe it'll help one of you guys, but, like, also, who cares? I'm on Wellbutrin right now, and it's really just changed everything. Like, I mean, I still, like, there's still so much to be fixed with me. Like, eventually I would like to also have a stimulant in order to, like, assist me in the things I get to do, but at least I am able to do more, and my emotions are more regulated. And what I've noticed is that when I get, like, upset, I don't go to, like, I'm not 100% upset like I used to be. I used to get, like, really, really, like, really mad or sad or whatever, and it was hard for me to come back down from that. And you know, that's, like, that's a big part of, like, having, like, that undiagnosed, you know, ADHD and whatever, like, that it accumulates into, like, also having anxiety and depression on top of that, you know? And it was affecting, like, my everyday life, you know, especially, like, living with a partner, like, having a long-term partner, right? And then just, like, my overall well-being. It's like, if I'm depressed and anxious and sad, I'm not gonna want to do things. And then, like, being self-employed, it's, like, hard to get that motivation, you know? It's like, okay, yeah, sure, when you have an employer, you know, you have, if you're not doing things, you're gonna get in trouble. You're going to get reprimanded. You're gonna get fired. But when you're, like, working for yourself, you know, obviously there's all the other perks from it, but, like, the one downside is that, like, there's no one telling you what to do, and, like, there are obviously consequences and repercussions for not doing the things, but it's not, like, direct, you know, like, you're not getting in trouble, or, like, it's, like, a long-term consequence that you don't see right away, so, like, it's hard to see it as a consequence now. Does that make sense? So yeah, and then plus on top of that, like, not to get too like personal or whatever, but I had mentioned in some of my videos that like I had some bad things happening, and like I lost my grandfather earlier this year, around my birthday in June, and then shortly after we lost somebody on my partner's family that was also really close to us, like literally like literally like right after, like we had just buried my grandfather, and then something else happened, and I was like, oh my god, like, and it was the same exact way, like it, like what the hell, like literally what the hell. So like at the day that I was like, you know what, this is the first day that I'm feeling okay, we got the phone call that she was not doing okay. And it's like, Jesus, like what the hell is the universe trying to do? So the summer I was, oh god, a depressed mess, it was just a lot for anybody to handle, but on top of that, I didn't have anything helping me, anything, whatever. So it's hard for me to like, oh, I'm getting a phone call, hold on. Nope, please stop. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Please, no. Sorry, everybody. Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry about that, everyone. Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about, oh, yes, my medication. So, yeah, all in all, I started taking it, and it's been amazing so far. It's really quite a wonder what things can do for you when you go on medication. And let me tell you, for those of you who either have like not great insurance or have no insurance, like some people, I'm talking about myself, there is a site I have to tell you about. Mark Cuban, one of the sharks, has a site called Cost Plus Drugs, where you get generic brand medication for super cheap. Like, it's really awesome. Like, I'm like, oh, that guy, he's a good shark. He's a good shark because this is obviously not profitable. It's just really about your mental health and stuff. Like, really cool. I'm literally paying $6 for my medication and then $5 for shipping. That's beautiful. So for those of you who maybe are paying too much for your medication or looking for something, check that site out. It's awesome. So yeah, so things have been good for me, and I've obviously been doing more because I'm just able to now. So that's really, really cool. And I've been doing a really good job segueing, but there's no way to segue into this. The last thing I want to talk to you about is my trip last week. Was it last week now? Oh no, I got home over a week ago now. Ugh. My trip to Michigan with my crochet friends. I miss them so much. I was literally depressed when I got back. Depressed. You just go from tee-heeing and ha-haing for 1 week straight, 24/7. You wake up, you tee-hee. You go to bed, you tee-hee. Oh god, it was just amazing. And then you get back and you're like, I'm not laughing all the time anymore. I don't wake up to see my friends. It's awesome. And I get a lot of like questions whenever we all get a lot of questions whenever we post about it, and people are like, oh, how do I get invited to one of these? Or, oh, is anybody nearby for me to do this? And it's like, listen, none of us are nearby each other. Zach lives in frickin' Australia. It's like, you don't get invited to one of these things. You make friends online, and then you do these yourself. Like, this doesn't just magically happen. It's not like some magical event, It's not like we all don't know each other. It's like, we're best friends. We talk to each other multiple times a week, if not sometimes consecutive days in a row, and we are very close to each other. Like last year we all met for the first time, almost. Not really. I knew everybody. I was like, me and Brooke were the people who brought everybody together. I only met Zach and Drew for the first time. You become friends with these people online. Like, it's really cool, like the time that we live in now, where like you can make friends online, and it's not like stranger danger or anything like that. I mean, and it is to an extent. Like, don't just go to people's houses. Don't do that. But, like, you can foster these, like, amazing, genuine relationships online. And it's, like, it's very natural. Like, you know, you don't, like, message someone and just be like, can we be friends? I feel like it's easy. It's not easy. I'm a Gemini, so it's easy for me. But, like, you can tell when, like, there's a vibe. Like, when it came to being friends with Aspen, I just knew. Like, I could just tell by the way they commented, by the way we commented on each other's stuff, that it wasn't just like, oh, that's gorgeous. Like, there was just something I could tell that we would get along. We would get along really well. And I was right. Like, I barely even talked to them before me and Brooke were like, we know that this person's gonna be our friend. And then we, like, planned a trip around that. It's just like, you make it happen. You plan the trips. You meet up in one place around the world. And it's not like, oh, I wish people lived by me to do this. It's like, I wish they lived by me too, but we don't. We all live across the country, and Zach lives across the world. You make it happen, and it's so worth it. But you gotta have someone to do the planning. And by someone, I mean someone like me, because I'm the one who does the planning. I'm already planning for next year. Oh, God, I'm already planning for next year, because you gotta plan in a year in advance. But it's so special. It is so fun to just, like, have a house full of people that have, like, the same interests as you, and we're just, like, all, like, crocheting and knitting the entire time and helping each other and, like, switching around projects. Like, literally, we did this last year too, but, like, Aiden didn't want to bind off, so Aspen started binding off for her, and Aiden was doing Aspen's project in return, which was just Aiden's pattern that Aspen wasn't reading, and Aiden was just telling her to do. So I was doing Aspen's pattern, and I would just be like, ugh, let me do this one while I have you, so that you could just show me what to do, so I don't have to look it up. It's so nice. And it's also just nice to be somewhere different. It's nice to be, like, somewhere in nature, like, together. Ugh, I miss them so much. I literally love them all so much. And it's so special to have, like, that kind of relationship where, like, you can spend 24 hours a day for a week with them. And here's a tip from me. Last year we thought it was too short, but it was a good thing, because what if we didn't get along as a group, or, like, for an extended period of time? Like, it's a good trial period. You know, you can be friends with somebody, but, like, that doesn't mean you could travel with somebody, because travel can be stressful, but also, like, you're with each other for a long time. Like, it could be a lot, especially with a lot of loud personalities. Like, we're all internet people who, like, put ourselves online. There's a good chance that we could all be, like, too much for one another, too much in a house. So doing, like, a 4-day trial period was good to know that, like, okay, now we could do a whole week. So, you know, start off small. And I started off even smaller because I did 3 days with just Aspen and Brooke. Brooke was unable to come this time around because she was in Korea, so hopefully she could come next time. But yeah, it's awesome that we can all get along like that, and, like, we all have the same, like, type of, like, chaos and humor as well. It's not just about, like, oh, we all crochet. It's like, no, we all share so much in common besides crocheting. Like, crocheting is just the thing that brought us together. But, like, we are friends because of all the reasons to become friends. And, you know, I talk, like, outside of that, I talk to Aspen every day, probably. And it's weird when we don't talk every day. One time, Aspen was like, I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever, and it was 2 days. I talk to Aiden almost every day. We play Fortnite, like, every day. And if not, we're texting every day. You know, it's like, these are the relationships that are important. And, like, even, like, someone like Zach, we don't talk every day. We actually, like, didn't even talk a lot this year in general, because, like, time zones, but also, like, he was so busy, I was so busy. You know, you could only keep up with so many people at one time. But then we see each other in person, and we are inseparable. Just like, oh, right, you're my best friend. Oh, you get me. And even if you watch any of our videos together, the entire time we're just giggling and tee-heeing together, like, constantly. Oh, God, if you haven't watched, you need to watch Kelsey and Zach's vlogs. Mine are coming soon. I already edited, like, this is crazy. I already put together an hour at least, and I'm not even halfway through the vacation. I'm gonna have to do it in parts, but I'm not gonna draw attention to it being in parts because I want people to still like watch the whole thing. But it's so fun. It's so funny. Like, what I also like about these vlogs is that you get to see that like this is just how we are. Like, it's not like something we turn on for the camera, or you get to see maybe our real personalities. I'm somebody that, and people have told me this, I'm the same exact way that I present online. I'm the same exact way. So you get to see that I am exactly how I am online because I don't always know when the camera's rolling. Especially if the camera's rolling, like, whenever throughout the day, I'm not going to just be able to turn it on and off because I don't even know if it is going or not. But then for other people, you get to see what they are like, not on the camera, different from their internet persona. Someone like Aiden, let's say, who just basically shows off her work online, but then is like so different in person, which is funny because I wouldn't have known that from her page, but it was Brooke that introduced me to Aiden because of what they share in common, which is color work. So that's awesome. And like I also see these people throughout the year. Like, this is the only time that like we all are together all at once, but like I saw Mags like multiple times this year, and I will see her multiple times again. I see Aspen, like, there are stints where we see each other every month for like the next 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that you make those friendships are just by being friends. Like, I can't even fully explain it to you. But you don't just come across those retreats. You, like, foster those friendships. And friendships are just so important to me, especially as I get older. And more people have less play dates and less sleepovers. I'm like, not me, bitch. Not me. I'm having slumber parties every weekend. Like, even my friends that live here, I'm sleeping over their house. I'm having slumber parties with them. I'm having my fucking play dates with them. I say that too. I'm like, can we have a slumber party? I have a slumber party room. Why do you think I have a slumber party room? We're having slumber parties. I sleep over. And it's like, it's like obviously convenient for me too, but like, if I want to like go to Brooklyn and drink, let's say, or just not go home at night, I get to have my slumber party. You know, why wouldn't you want to have that? I think it's so important to have these friendships, and like, what's important to me is like having the tee-hee kind of friendships, you know, where you could just like hang and be intimate with one another. I was just talking to my friend about this because she's like has trouble like finding like those types of friends that like you want to be like intimate close friends with. One of my friends currently, he's like one of my newest friends. His name is Greg. I've only been friends with him for like not even a year and a half yet, and he's one of my closest friends. And I met him through my friend Melanie. He lives below her, but also they went to college together, but they also just happened to live in the same building. It's really weird. And I met him one week, and then the next week we got along immediately. And then the following week I was cat sitting at Mel's house, so I was staying at her place, and he just came upstairs, knocked on the door, and was like, "You want to run errands with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it's that kind of intimacy that I'm talking about, where you're just hanging out to hang out, to laugh, to talk, to do whatever. Like, not just like go out and get dinner, which is still like really important, but like those kinds of friendships are different than like going out to dinner. Friendships are different than like coming over and watching YouTube videos or running errands with each other or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, those relationships are really, really, really important. And that's something I like really value. And I've really been valuing as an adult, you know, like why would you stop having those friendships as you get older? They're more important because you're not going to school. You're not seeing your friends every day like you used to. Or for someone like me or anybody who works from home, you're not seeing anyone during the day in person besides whoever you live with, if you live with somebody. So you need to foster those relationships, and we have a lack of third spaces right now, which really sucks. You know, you're not making friends like organically, so it's really hard. So it's really important for you to foster these friendships with the people that like you bond with online or like through friends of friends. Like right now, I feel like the friends that I'm making are now through friends of friends because I feel like I've established all these friends like on my own online, and everybody has a capacity for relationships, and I feel like Geminis, looking at her, are able to maintain a crazy amount of friendships. Like, it is not normal how many friendships I am maintaining, because it's just like, it's hard, it's hard to divide yourself up to all these people, but I think I do such a good job with it, which I'm really proud of. But right now my capacity's kind of hit for making new friends, and I really love the friends that you make from friends of friends, because if I love one of my friends, why wouldn't I love their friends? It just makes sense. And then also the friends that are important are the ones that know that, like, you have your own lives, and, like, you can just talk to again and pick up, like, Zach. Or, because I used to work in Florida, I have these friends from then that I don't get to see all the time. And I'm always in Florida, right? But that doesn't always mean I can hang out with them, because I'm doing family trips, or, like, I'm already booked and busy. But I went to Florida in February to get a tattoo, and I purposely planned that a week so I could be like, all right, this is the time that I'm seeing all the friends I don't usually see. I saw a friend from college, and it was like nothing. And, like, she has kids now, so it's like she understands that life gets busy, and when we hang out, it's like nothing. And then I saw my two friends that I did my Disney college program with, and I realized when I saw them, I hadn't seen them since before 2020, and I was seeing them this year, 2024. I think the last time I saw them was maybe 2019, and it was like nothing. And those types of friends don't get mad that you can't see each other or whatever, or you don't even talk every day, but then you hang out and it's like, I saw you yesterday and not 5 years ago. That's really important too. Yeah, I love my friends. I think it's so important to also just, like, be in love with your friends. And not, like, romantic love, but, like, having that friendship type of in love with them. Like, you can't rely on just, like, your one romantic partner if you're monogamous for everything. And I think that's why, like, a lot of, like, long-term relationships start to, like, crumble, and, like, why you see, like, a lot of older people, like, kind of miserable with their one partner. And it's because it's just not possible for you to get everything from one person. It's not. Like, I'm not going to talk to Andreas about my crochet stuff or about my astrology stuff, like, the same way I'm going to talk to Aspen about it, or my friend Sarah about it, or whatever, because he just doesn't have, like, we're not the same person, so we're not going to share all the same stuff together. So it's so important to do those, or, like, he's not going to want to come on a crochet retreat with me where all I do is crochet, and I'm not going to subject him to that either. Nor do I think I should subject anybody else to that. I'm a firm believer that you should not be bringing your partner everywhere with you. I constantly leave him at home because there's a separation. And I bring him to things with my friends too. He had a great time at one of my best friend's birthday parties. Well, he's also friends with her. Like, we've been all friends since high school. But, like, having that separation and having, like, your own close personal relationships with other people is just so important. And that's something I've really truly realized in the past 4 years. And this is a whole nother thing that I'm not even going to get into, but, like, pre-2020, I had a whole different set of friends that I realized didn't have my best interest in mind, that didn't really, like, truly care about me or truly, like, love me the way that my friends love me now. And I was friends with them for years and years and years. Meanwhile, I'm friends with, like I said, Greg for a year and a half. And he has so much more love and care for me than they did in those years. I've only been friends, this is crazy, I've only been friends with Aspen for 2 years. And we are inseparable. Like, we are so close. And, like, time isn't a factor, really, for, like, how close you are with somebody or, like, the level of relationship you are. It's, like, what you put into it that really defines that friendship. So friendship is really important. And you need to have, need to have those relationships with someone. And it doesn't have to be the extent that I have. Like, you don't need to have, like, 1 billion million friends. Like, that's, not everybody can handle that. But, like, you should have at least a handful that you can feel the things that I'm, like, talking about with them. And if you don't, try to seek those out, but seek it out organically. You'll know. You know, it's in the same way that you know when you find like a romantic partner that you want to be with. You'll know that you find those friendships. And sometimes it could be a little like blurred. Like I feel like I have like friend crushes on people where it's like you feel like you just like have like this infatuation with them, but like really it's because like you know that like we are going to be so close. We have so much in common. Like we are destined to be friends. You're friend soulmates. You know? Like you know when there's someone that wants to be their friend, and you know when it's reciprocated. That's a big thing too. You know when it's reciprocated back. That's a huge one. They make it very clear that they feel the same way back to you. Oh, I could talk about this forever. I'm going to stop here because I could talk about this forever. If you want to hear more about my love for my friends, I could talk about it forever, so. But I'm going to end the podcast here. This is way longer than I thought it would be. Please don't expect all of these to be this long, because I think minimum a half an hour. But, you know me, I could fucking yap. I could just keep going and going and going. Oh, my God. So, anywhere from whatever this 30 minutes to whatever this time is. But I feel like I just had, there's so much I haven't told you that this is going to be an extra long one. Sometimes I don't have anything to talk about. That's a lie. But sometimes I just don't know what to talk about. I always have something to talk about. I don't know what to talk about, I should say. But if there's anything specific that you want to hear from me, please leave it down in the comments below. Let me know how you like this podcast. If it's, you know, worth it for you to have, you know, this Patreon subscription to. What else you want to hear? And then I will be coming out with another October one by the end of this month. Probably talking more about Halloween and all the things I did for Halloween. You know that I have a bunch of Halloween stuff coming up. So, I could tell you all about that. Woo, how fun. Anyway, thanks for being a Patreon. Love you all. I hope you're excited for all the videos that are coming out soon. I hope you're excited for the Michigan one. I'm really excited to let that one out into the world. Alright, bye everybody. Have a great rest of your day and week and so on.